兄弟们，你们有没有总结过相亲市场上很多的矛盾点？先说你，
Have you ever summed up the contradictions in the dating market? Let's start with women. They shout about gender equality, sätter tenbersätet slashbris and aranat, but when it comes time to pay the bill, they instantly turn sweet and act cute. When it's about rights, they want equality. When it comes to expenses, they expect you to pay for everything. Isn't this exactly like demanding the horse run, but not letting it eat grass? And those who claim they like mature, independent, non-kling men. In the end, what they really fall for are the soft, playful guys who know how to act spoiled. Contradictory, isn't it? Now let's talk about men. On one hand, they want women with little dating experience, pure and innocent. On the other, they complain those women don't know how to flirt and are boring. So where do they end up? Scrolling through short videos, watching pretty girls. And those brothers who say they love natural beauty. They demand that women never do cosmetic procedures, never spend much on looks, be naturally stunning even without makeup, but also never act proud because of their beauty. What is this? Are you looking for a girlfriend? Or for a fairy descended from heaven? Even funnier, women lower their standards for financial conditions. Men lower their standards for looks. But once they actually live together, they realize the most important thing is mutual understanding. Yet some people, even when they meet someone decent, still nitpick over 2 centimeters of height, whether the partner looks refined enough, or whether the mortgage is too heavy. Are they choosing a life partner? Or shopping for commodities? The truth is, today's dating scene is like this, because everyone lives in the fantasy of wanting this and that and more. Traditional ideas mixed with modern pressures. Buying single feels like rock bottom. The stress of survival is high, but instead of figuring out their own life, people pile endless demands on strangers. So the single remains single. The complainers keep complaining. Brothers, don't just stare at superficial conditions. Finding someone who can share burdens with you, who understands your ups and downs, is worth more than anything. As for those double standard players, let them keep dreaming.
我焦虑个毛线呐！我焦虑，妈的，这一辈子无论怎么过怎么活都不中。
Why the hell should I be anxious? Anxious for what? No matter how I live this life, it doesn't really matter. We only have 30,000 days in a lifetime. In the grand flow of history, I'm not even a grain of sand. Do I even know who my great-grandparents were? Or my father's father's father? Number. It's as if they never existed in this world. And in another 100 years, I'll be the same. Gone, forgotten. So why take life so seriously? We come into this world just to play. When we're tired, we go back and lie down. We all need to understand one thing. One day, I will die. Maybe in 10 years. Maybe in 20. Maybe in 30, 40, 50. Who knows? And when that day comes, there will be no trace left that I ever existed. When I think about this, things like reputation, social niceties, and pressure, they all become meaningless. They're all bullshit. Why should I care whether you like me or not? Why should I care if you look down on me? Why should I care what you say behind my back? None of it matters. From that moment on, I felt light and free, utterly clear-minded. Every day I live is full of happiness and joy, because nothing matters more than myself.
爸妈全款90万在城里边给男人买了一套房子。
The parents paid 900,000 inches full to buy a man an apartment in the city. The man wanted to bring his parents to live with them. But his wife said, "If you bring your parents over, then we'll get a divorce." So the man made a decision that shocked everyone. The man is 30, born and raised in the countryside. His wife is 3 years older and grew up in the city. They met through relatives. At first, the wife didn't like him. Because he was from the countryside, poorly educated, average-looking, and not witty or humorous. Most importantly, his family conditions weren't good. Later, the wife's parents somehow heard that the man's family might get a demolition payout, which would mean a lot of money. He is the only son, so that money would be his in the future. So they agreed to let the two get married. The man was overjoyed. But the mother-in-law said there was a condition. They would wait until the demolition compensation arrived before getting the marriage certificate and holding the wedding. The man's parents saw their son was determined to marry her, so they agreed without a word. Later, the man's family received more than 1.6 million yuan in compensation. The mother-in-law then said, "Once the children marry, we are one family. In the future, our assets as parents will be for the children." She also said, "Our side really can't afford to buy a home right now. Could the man's family buy a home first? And we'll buy the car? That way the kids will have face when they marry." The man's parents agreed to all of this. The apartment was chosen by the wife, and the man's parents paid for it, over 900,000 yuan in total. In fact, the man originally planned to have them just pay the down payment, with the couple paying the mortgage afterward, and keep the rest of the money for the parents' retirement. But his parents refused. They didn't want their son burdened with a mortgage. They wanted the couple to live more easily. So they took out all their savings and bought the place in full. They even paid for the renovations, all covered by the man's parents. As a result, the family had virtually no savings left. The mother-in-law's family bought a car under 100,000 yuan for the wife. Only then did the couple finally get their certificate and hold the wedding. At that time, the man felt incredibly happy, envisioning a blissful married life. But only a few months later, the wife brought her parents over to live with them. The man didn't think much of it or object. He figured they'd stay a few days and leave. But they had no intention of leaving at all. They even moved all their things over. The mother-in-law would often enter the couple's bedroom without knocking. Once, the man's parents came into the city on errands. They brought him some string beans and shoes from the village, all grown and made by his mother. His mom wanted to stay for dinner, and afterward, the man hoped they'd spend the night. But his parents were worried about inconveniencing the kids and refused to stay. Even though it was getting dark, they rushed to catch the last bus back to the village. Watching his parents' receding figures, the man felt indescribably sad. The next day, he discussed with his wife, bringing his parents to live with them, but his wife absolutely refused and said if he brought them, they'd divorce. The man was instantly disheartened. He said, "Fine, then let's divorce." So, everyone, do you support the man's decision? Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us.
那些情人节没收到礼物的姐妹，别心灰意冷，也别责怪人家。
For the sisters who didn't receive a gift on Valentine's Day, don't lose heart and don't blame anyone. Reflect on yourselves. Is it that your charm isn't enough? Or your boyfriend isn't enough? Oh my gosh, haha. Or you can just learn from me. I'm 40, not married, and I spent Valentine's Day working, running business. Valentine's Day? Ghost festival? Can any of that be more important than earning money? Make money, then buy things for men. Make them happy. Open your perspective. Why do we say pushing for marriage doesn't work? Because it simply doesn't. Young people nowadays, no matter how you nag them, they remain unmoved. If they don't want to marry, they don't want to marry. Actually, it's not that they all don't want to marry. It's that they really can't afford it. Just the bride price alone is a chasm that's hard to cross. In their eyes, marriage isn't a necessity. It's a choice. Even a burden. Having children, don't even mention it. Everyone knows how expensive it is to raise a child. If you don't marry, you feed only yourself and no one goes hungry. Do whatever you want. How free is that? As for parents pushing for marriage, young people are even more fed up. Many parents push just to save face. In reality, many marriages of that generation are a mess, especially the mother-in-law divided by daughter-in-law relationship. Divorce, at its core, is a selfish act. People talk about it, but don't bear the consequences. If marriage could truly give young people a sense of security, rather than anxiety and pressure, I think when that day comes, those who should marry will naturally marry. But before that day arrives, pushing is useless. Do you know how men view women who cohabit before marriage? For example, they might say, I can live together to try this guy out, but the one they actually want to marry, they absolutely won't allow her to have cohabited. Let me show you what they tell me privately. Here's one at 11:45, see? A DM he sent me. Host, You can go to a 4 seconds dealership and buy a car at the listed price, but the salesperson suggests you pay and drive away a test drive car. How would you feel about that? So girls, don't be silly. Just because your boyfriend says, let's live together and try, doesn't mean you should. That's what's truly on their minds. What kind of man? If you meet him, and must you hold on to? Roughly with these 3 traits. Personality a bit straightforward. He may not say too many sweet words, but he won't have major toxic issues. No bad habits. No soliciting prostitutes, no gambling, no domestic violence. A steady routine. Basically 2 points and 1 line home and work. A man like that is genuinely a quality man. Quality doesn't mean how much money he has, or that he must earn tens of thousands per month. Those men who earn that much, do they even have the time or mental space for you? The quality man I just described is hard to find on the market. If you catch one, don't let go. I'm 25, unmarried and without children, but I've become what my 20-year-old self couldn't even dare to imagine. Bought a house and a car by myself. Spend my time and energy on myself. Skincare, exercise, going out on dates. Right now, at the start of 2025, I really want to say some heartfelt words to every 20-year-old sister. You must not dare, because fear will steal your life. I've always believed that what you can get in this life is within the intersection of what you dare to imagine and dare to act on. If you don't dare, you're pushing opportunity away. Dreams come true is a native ability. Don't block it. Bad things often come from fear. Good things come from preparation. You can analyze risks, stay up late making plans, but don't pre-install fear. Don't pre-install anxiety, then back off and do nothing. I once started a business afraid of failure, and I really messed it up. Later, I focused on preparation, and I succeeded. You're still young. All the more reason not dare. If you want a promotion, work hard to improve your capability and network upward. If you want to date, meet people. I don't sit there telling yourself you're unworthy. If you want to lose weight or become more beautiful, focus and do it. Just remember, everything that happens to you is something you can solve. So don't let fear rewrite your life script or change your lines. Some men think that if a woman buys a house before marriage, she's undateable. Men buying a house before marriage is usually for marriage and family. But they think when women do it, it's to lock down personal assets. Like some men say, I buy a house to live in together after marriage. But if the woman buys a house before marriage, the title is hers, and after marriage I still have to help pay the mortgage. Then the house has little to do with me. Ended. So they refuse to date such women. Is this view right? My ideal married life is 2 people living simply and steadily. You give me peace of mind. I give you reassurance. At night, we curl up under the blanket, scrolling phones or watching television. If I'm thirsty, you get me water. If you're hungry, I cook for you. When we're sleepy, we fall asleep in each other's arms. Call someone wife, and you must take responsibility to the end. Call someone husband, and you must stay decent and faithful. A husband doesn't have to be very rich, just enough to live. A wife doesn't have to be extremely beautiful, just virtuous. No betrayal. Simple and clean. Cherish each other. That is enough for a lifetime. When choosing a partner, men aren't afraid of your age being higher. They're afraid your financial situation is poor. Women aren't afraid of your financial situation being poor. They're afraid your age is high. Exactly the opposite. So don't always stick stubbornly to your own mate selection direction. It might not work. They say choosing a husband is a woman's second reincarnation. I suggest to all the sisters, when you're 20, make the most of your time to actively find your other half. Don't say you're still young and being single is great. We are independent individuals now. Having a partner and marrying doesn't stop you from enjoying solitude. Be 20 inches age, but 30 inches mindset. That's how you become the ultimate winner in life. What if your boyfriend doesn't know how to kiss? Oh, maybe he's not that great, haha. I can teach him. Wow, I can win this. What if he doesn't know how to kiss? Show him films, haha. What are you thinking about when you're kissing? That can't say, can't broadcast, can't be aired? Is kissing acceptable on the first date? Only kissing, haha. Is kissing acceptable on the first date? Number, why? It doesn't feel formal enough. Is kissing acceptable on the first date? Number, then how long until the second date? If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me.
我们的中老年朋友啊，今天老于啊，跟大家谈。
Our middle-aged and elderly friends, today old you wants to talk to everyone about a very, very important matter. That is, we must not go messing around. For our middle-aged and elderly friends. Some of us are divorced, some lost our spouses early. Living alone like this, life is often difficult. Over time, we begin to need companionship, we need emotional comfort, and this kind of mutual communication and exchange. Only in this way can our middle-aged and elderly friends live with more taste, with more meaning. But many people go about it the wrong way. Uncles in their 50s, 60s, 70s going out looking for elderly ladies. This kind of thing happens. In small parks, for example, at public square dances, you see such situations. But going about it randomly is dangerous. Do you know that nowadays our middle-aged and elderly friends, uncles, aunties, old men, old women, are actually a high-risk group, a disaster zone for certain illnesses? Everyone knows, but I cannot spell it out too clearly here. If our elderly friends are living alone and they have emotional needs, then we should pursue it properly. Seriously, find someone, find a wife or husband. At an older age, it's not shameful at all, it's completely normal. As long as you look decent and both sides truly like each other, life will naturally be much better. Every day, you have a companion. Someone to do cleaning, cook meals, handle housework, go out together for a walk or travel somewhere. At least you have someone by your side. Otherwise, many elderly people, when they die, no one even knows. For example, if you go out walking and fall down, if no one is there to lift you up, what then? Not even someone to spread the word. How tragic is that? So, for our middle-aged and elderly friends, wanting to find a companion is reasonable. As long as you have some money. Many people have retirement pensions. Some more, some less, it doesn't matter. That is not the key point. As long as it's enough to live on, that's fine. Most retirees don't actually spend much. They don't eat much, don't buy much. Some people, 10 yuan a day is already enough. So old you wants to advise all our middle-aged and elderly friends, if you are widowed or divorced, and now, in your later years, life is bitter and lonely, then you should indeed go find a companion. Find an old man or an old woman. And you must do it early. And also, you must obtain the support of your children. As children, we must understand our parents' emotional needs. Having a companion reduces the burden on the children as well. It is mutual companionship. You accompany me, I accompany you. Each person is the other's caregiver. That's how it is, isn't it? But many women say, why should I find an old man? Why should I be a free caregiver? In reality, this is mutual. It's not that you only take care of him without him caring for you. It is mutual. That's why many aunties, older ladies, when choosing an old man, are very picky, even demanding a bride price. But in truth, living together in later years is simply companionship. No need to go through legal procedures. If you get along and see eye to eye, then just live together. It is as simple as that, and it is always better than going through dirty or unsafe channels. Don't you agree? So, to all our middle-aged and elderly friends, please take care with this matter. Do not mess around. Do not go seeking randomly. Otherwise, you will regret it. You will end up sick, and you will ruin your reputation. Think about it. If many old men do not restrain themselves and something happens to their body, what then? What face will you have left? If your relatives, friends, acquaintances find out, what then? That is why after we grow old, our reputation and our name are very important. If people speak well of you, it is good. If people speak badly, their words alone can drown you. Do you think old you is right about this? If you agree, give old you a like, give a follow. Thank you, everyone. All right, goodbye. And remember to like and follow the video.
结果
这个女生事业单位工作，人家性格也挺温柔的。你们第一次见。
According to official statistics, China now has more than 260 million people over the age of 60, making up nearly 19% of the population. By 2030, that number is expected to surpass 300 million. Divorce rates among middle-aged and elderly couples are also on the rise. In 2023 alone, more than 1.7 million couples over the age of 50 filed for divorce. This is a warning sign about the loneliness and emotional pressure the modern era places on our parents and grandparents. That's why today's China's social trends reminds us, these issues are not only about numbers but also about humanity. The root of true happiness still lies in family harmony, filial piety, and the strength of traditional values. When traditions are preserved, the elderly have real support, and children grow up in a healthier environment. Once again, China's social trends shows us that while modern society may change, the foundation of family and morality must never be abandoned. 2. So what do you think? Should elderly people have the freedom to find a new partner to ease their loneliness, or should they dedicate their later years to family and grandchildren? Is it selfish, or is it their rightful choice? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.